Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Greg McCloskey from ForexLive.com. This is the morning report for August 4th, 2022. Overnight, we saw the Bank of England, or not overnight, I guess this morning, we saw the Bank of England raise rates by 50 basis points. That was there was a little toss up between 25 and 50, but they went to 50 basis points. But however, they did warn that growth would be, or output growth would be much slower starting in the fourth quarter with 5 consecutive quarters of declines, and also inflation would peak at 13%. Not good news. Pound versus US dollar moved to the downside, as did the pound versus the other currencies as well. It is the weakest of the major currencies. In other news, the China promised that they would have live fire off the island of Taiwan, and indeed they did overnight, sending hundreds of jets through the air, and that was probably harrowing for the people of Taiwan. But this is a reaction to Pelosi's visit to the island nation, pledging support for it as it going forward, and that angered the Chinese. They warned of this, and they are going through with it. The live fire will continue for the next 3 days, so buckle in. Hope there's no issues there that trigger a reaction, which there shouldn't be, but it nevertheless brings that issue to the forefront. Let's take a look at some of the markets. We'll start with the euro versus US dollar, and I think we're in day 14 of this up and down trading action. In overnight trading, we did see in European trading, I guess we saw the euro versus US dollar move up to test our 200-hour moving average and 100-hour moving average, and 38.2% retracement, I guess. All those come between 1.0193 and 1.2047. The high price for the day reached 1.09935, just above the 200-hour moving average, and the price has saw a back off, but we are back up testing that 200-hour moving average. Get above these levels and it tilts the bias more to the upside. The price still remains within its big block right here, but it would shift the shorter term bias more to the upside as the price waffles back and forth. Yesterday the low price came in near the swing area through here, between the 1.0114 and 1.0121. The low price reached right near that 1.0121 level, and we saw the bounce to the upside. So the story remains the same in the euro versus US dollar. Still waiting for the break with momentum for that currency pair. Let's take a look at the dollar versus yen, and what you can see off the bat here is that the high price in the London session again moved up to test the 200-hour moving average. Found willing sellers against that level, and the price started to rotate back to the downside. We saw it move further to the downside in the current hourly bar, but held the broken 38.2% retracement of this move to the downside at 133.107. Trading between the 100 and 200-hour moving averages. Yesterday we saw the price move above and below it early in the Asian session, and then we found support against the 100-hour moving average here, and ping-ponged up to the 200-hour moving average. So the price is currently trading more comfortably in the middle here at 133.54. It looks like it's near the middle of these two moving averages. So some somewhat neutral territory. Maybe a move above the 50% retracement, which was a high price in the Asian session yesterday, would give a extra boost and more confidence for the run toward the 200-hour moving average. But traders are trading this currency pair between those two moving average extremes. Let's take a look at the pound versus US dollar. I mentioned that the price did move to the downside. There was an initial move higher after the 50 basis point hike, but that was quickly sold. We saw the price move back below the 100, and this swing, somewhat swing area here, and then the 200-hour moving average increasing the momentum to the downside. Our low price stalled ahead of the prior low from last week's trading. I guess that was Thursday, and it did move below this swing area through here between 1.2080 and 1.2102. We currently are back above that level, so there is some rebound going on here. Recall yesterday the price fell below the trend line and the 200-hour moving average briefly, and then moved and started to use that level as support. We saw the support level hold during the early European session, but then break. So this 200-hour moving average will be eyed as close resistance. Comes in at 121.37. Stay below is more bearish, and we could see further rotations to the downside. Again, we're currently trading at 121.17. So approaching or getting within 20 pips, I guess, of that level. We'll watch what sell if the price moves up toward that level, what the sellers do. Be a key barometer for today and going forward. Let's take a look at the dollar versus Swiss. And what we saw in the dollar versus Swiss yesterday was a move back above the 100-day moving average. This is what it looks like on the daily chart. But the price could not sustain momentum above that level and close back below the 100-day day moving average level. As you can see on the hourly chart and in trading here today, the price moved up to retest that 100-day moving average, this time finding willing sellers against the level, and that has pushed the price back down toward our 200-hour moving average. Recall from yesterday, the price initially moved up to the 200-hour moving average and broke above it, had some up and down problems here initially, but then extended above that level. The break above the 200-hour moving average was the first since this day going back to July 18th. So somewhat significant, and now we have a significant retest of that level. If the market's able to find buyers in this area, we could see a rotation back to the upside and a retest of the 100-day moving average. If we move back below, we're going to start to look toward the 100-hour moving average as the failure above that moving average starts to kick in for traders. Finally, let's take a look at the dollar versus Canada. What I like about this chart is the ability to hold this swing area here, a swing low, some waffling up and down here, but some resistance through here, resistance here, and then support here. So back down into that 128.15 to 128.21 area. The current price is trading just below the 100 and 200-hour moving average. This will be the barometer for the intraday trading in the North American session if we're able to get above that and then get above this swing area near the 128.85 to or 55 to 128.58 level, and we should see and get above that level, we should see further upside. Alternatively, if we stay below the 100 and 200, then the swing area down here would be revisited. Looking at the stock market in the U.S. pre-market, the Dow is up about 34 points currently at the moment, and the NASDAQ index or the S&P index is up about 8.75 points. The NASDAQ index is, I don't know where it is, but it was sharply higher yesterday. I'm sure it's higher early trading today, but NASDAQ index is up about 48 points in pre-market trading. In the U.S. yields, taking a look at U.S. yields, we have the 2-year down 1.6 basis points, the 10-year down 2.7 basis points, which is around earlier New York levels. My name is Greg Michalowski. Good fortune with your trading today. Bye-bye now.